Hello people, today I'm going to show you how to create a database. First, I'm going to use the graphical user interface, and then I'm going to use the query. So without further delay, let's get started. Now let's connect the server. And I have several server here. I'm going to pick the first one, which is MS SQL PC. Now let me connect it. So when we expand the server, we're gonna see a lot of folders, some other thing, SQL Server Agent, X event profiler. We're not gonna touch on that. We're gonna create the database. So in order to create a database, we can go there and create the database. When you create a SQL Server, when you install a SQL Server, you actually come with 4 databases. These are system level databases. You don't touch on them. These are the database comes with it. So we're gonna create the user defined database. So in order to create a user defined database, you can do one thing. Just right click on the databases, click on the new database, and then you give a name. So give a meaningful name. Let's say our database name is test database. So you can test database. So our database name gonna be a test database. You can name it. You can go to options. You can play with this stuff, but these you don't have to actually touch on them. Keep it that way they are. File group, you don't have to also touch on them. So just go to general, make sure you give a proper name, and then you just click on OK, and database is created. But this database does not have any tables. So in order to save some data in the databases, you need to have a table. When we expand, you're gonna see under the table there is no table. So to create table, we can actually expand the databases. First, go to the database, go to the database you created, go to the table, right click the table, go to new, click on the table, and now the column name. What do you want to be column? Let's say I'm gonna put the column name as name. So I'm gonna let's say I'm gonna put the country name. So country name is a string type, or it's a var character. So I'm gonna give a var character, and you can give an var character and other type of character string. So in our case, we're gonna give a var character. It's gonna hold up to 50 character. If you give more than 50 character, this column will not take any value. So make sure you put under 50 character. I don't think any country is there that is having more than 50 character. Anyway, we're gonna right click on this bar, then save table. We're gonna give a proper name, country name. Now we have a table. If we come here and refresh it, you're gonna see a table here. Country name. There is something else, DBO. I'm not gonna go on that. It's called schema. I'm gonna have separate video for that. What is schema? But for now, just focus on the name, country name. Country name is the table under the test database. So now let me start. So this is the server. This is the databases. Underneath the databases, you will have some system level databases. Don't touch on them. Now the database you created, it is over here, test database. You expand it, the table you created should be over here under the tables. You refresh it, you will see it. So this is the table, but we created a table, we didn't insert any data. So that way we do insert data in a table. We do the right click, we do the edit top 20. So go there, put United States, put Bangladesh, Bangladesh, put England, whatever. So these are the country I listed. So these are the data already imported. Now I can close it. I can also close this one. Now if we come to the table again, right click the table, select top 1000 rows, you will see the country name has United States, Bangladesh, England. So I can write this query over and over to see it. It will show it. I will show you how you can do it with the query. So close it out, don't save it. Now if you come here, now select the databases that you have the table. So I will use the test database. So use test database. When you press test, it will show the entire name. When you press tab, it will actually complete the sentence or word, whatever. So we use because let's say if something else is selected, if you execute this line, just select this line and execute, you'll see this is changed. So sometime we may have some other things selected here, and if you wanna query that, it is not gonna show unless the same table is belong to that model table. But right now we know we're not touching model. As I said, don't touch on the system level databases. Model is here. We can go there, click here, test databases, or let's say something else is selected, you just come here, write this query and select this query and execute it. It will also change here. So we selected these databases, and now we're gonna write another query. Select star from the table you created. You can just drag and drop, or you just can actually type like this, doesn't matter. Country name is giving me error because the name has spelling error. I will fix it. Now if we run it, you're gonna see the same data that we have before. These are the country we have it. If you want to add one more, you click and come to the table, right click, edit top 10, and you put the country name. So I'm gonna add one more country. Let me use maybe Pakistan. Now we're gonna close this. If we run it again, you're gonna see Pakistan. That's how we create a database and table. So remember, in order to put some data in databases, you must have a table. Those table actually carries those data. Now we're gonna show graphically how to create a we just showed you how to create a databases and table with graphical user interface. Now we're gonna use a query to create a database and insert data and retrieve this data and so on. So let me get rid of this. I'm gonna close everything. Now in order to create a databases, you write down create databases. So now we have the test database selected. Let me use master. Master is the main databases. So if you create a databases, you must first use master here, but it doesn't matter. But it is a good practice. Use master, and then go to create database, database. Database. Oh man, database. Yeah. So create database, give a name. You cannot put any space on the database like this. It doesn't take, unless if you want to give a space in between database name like this, you can actually put hard bracket like this, close it, Now you can actually have a database name that will have a space on it. So I'm gonna create a database name user information. So let me create a database called user information. So user information. So I'm having error because this is not the SSMS is not understanding what's going on. So we need to actually put the hard bracket, or we can do one thing, just close out the space like this. So user info, I think this name is pretty long, so I will just actually make it short, user info. If you still want to put a space, you can put a space, use the hard bracket like this, doesn't matter. Yeah, so I'm not gonna put a hard bracket. I'm just gonna go with the simple way. So this how you that's how you create a database. So I'm gonna let me create this database. If you press F5 in your keyboard, it will execute. Also you can execute from here. So I'm gonna use execute button here. Let me press the button. The database is created. Now if I come to database, I expand it, you're not gonna see it. Let me refresh the folder. You're gonna see the user info, but the user info does not have any data in it. In order to put data, we mentioned that we need to create a table first. So where are we gonna create the table? We're gonna create the table under user info. So let's select the user info. Now we select it. User info is giving error, but let's select it. User info. Okay, so user info is selected here. It was some other database selected here, but now we have user info is selected. Now we're gonna create a table. So in order to create table, we write create table, give a proper name, user. Let's say user. I'm gonna say user. So I'm gonna say create table user. You don't have to put the hard bracket. I'm putting the hard bracket because the user word is actually already in the system level. It's already picked by the SQL. Maybe some other function or something, or some other object is already defined in the system. So that's why it's giving this error. So you can actually give some other name. So user name, maybe username. It's not going to give an area issue. So put a meaningful name. So user, first we write down create, and then we write down table, we write username. Now after username, you can actually put the parentheses like this. Within the parentheses you write down the code, but you can, it doesn't matter where you put the parentheses. You can put the parentheses here, and then write the code here, but you cannot write down all the code over here, and it's gonna go beyond the line and you have to like scroll, and that's not how it works. So we're gonna split the line like this. We can put as much space we want, but we cannot put a space here. It will complain because those words are reserved in the server. So anyway, we're gonna create the table. Let me create the table. First column is user name, person, let's say person, and it's a varchar. Now put 100 character. Let's say our in system, maybe some username is so long, 100 character long. That's why we can put this much character, but it doesn't matter. Put like less, in your case put less name, maybe 10 character is enough, because 10 character will be good enough to keep a person name. So I'm gonna say person name. Now so let's just put one column. So person name, this column will hold those person name. So I'm gonna select the entire code, so then execute. whatever, because we already execute this one, so we don't have to select it. So we can just select the one we need. Select. Now table has been created. Command completed successfully. Now if we come here, refresh the page, go underneath the table, you will see username, and username has a person name. And in order to insert data in the username table, we can write down a query: insert into table's name, username, values, and then put the values. So person name is maybe John. So John is gonna be in user name as soon as we execute this line. Now let me execute this line. Now one row has been affected. If we expand it, refresh, if we select the data, you will see one data. So now let me write down a query to select the select star mean everything from username. Now if we run it, you're gonna see the one data, John. Now if we change this, maybe Muhammad, run it, run again, execute this. If you run this select statement again, you're gonna see Muhammad. And also you can see from by going there, select top panels, it's gonna show these two names. And that's how we create a database and table with the graphical user interface and also with the query. Thanks for watching.